Good day, everyone. The Christmas holidays are over and we're all getting back to our normal lives. Unless, of course, you've been badly affected by the raging fires that's happening right now in Australia. So unfortunately for some, it's going to take a lot more time to get back to some normalcy. Now, for those who have been affected, I think everyone's heart is bleeding to some extent for you peeps. Good luck and all the best for me. I've kind of almost been there. I've been through fires. I guess some good news is the Tiny is really coming along now. All the internal lining is finished in 2 coats on everything here. 2 coats of polyurethane gives them that luxurious luster that the timber takes on. The floors are in and the bathroom is nearly finished with only cabinet doors to make, the vanity mirror to install, and a bit of tiling splashback to have the bathroom complete. But today I want to go into a bit of detail on how I go about doing a tiling job. Now, this video will mostly be about tiling with a few other things thrown in. First though, let me be completely honest here. I'm in no way a professional tiler. I've never tiled for a job. I was a house painter for most of my working career, but I have done a fair amount of tiling and can do a very nice job. But again, being honest, I know a real pro would do it so much quicker than I. And take note here, tiling won't be for everyone. You need to be a bit handy to make this work. Now, for being in the trades all my life, I've seen a lot of DIY tile disasters. So just saying, some of you might want to get a bit of help. Tiling isn't easy. So let me throw in a bit of good news here. You'll find the task of waterproofing not near as difficult as tiling, and I think most DIYs will find it pretty simple to accomplish. Now, I'm not going to cover that in this video. I've made a video on that already. You can click on the card above, or I'll put that also in the link below. Hi everyone, I'm Rick Michelle, and I'm sharing my first tiny build experiences along with a few tips and tricks that I've picked up along the way with my lifetime of painting and building. And I'm also hoping that you'll get some inspiration to maybe do this yourselves, build your own tiny house. Now, obviously, all the internal lining for the bathroom has already been done. The first 2 walls being lined with cement sheeting. The other 2 walls were lined the same as the rest of the Tiny with timber plywood. Now, I couldn't get the cabinet carcass size that I wanted, so I cut the depth of it, a larger one, down to the size so it wouldn't interfere with the entrance door. It was just too close for comfort. And for the bench top, I simply made one from the timber I found lying around my place. I think it's red mahogany, I could be wrong, but it sure does look very nice. I cut the hole for the sink. I set it in using polyurethane sealant, and it works a charm. Now, one of the first things I did was to prime the back sides of the tiles. Now, I did this because when I tiled our house, all the tiles literally sucked out the moisture from the glue the moment I put a tile on the wall or the floor. The glue just fell off before I could lay the tile. But as it turns out, I ran short of tiles and purchased another box, forgot to prime the back sides, and it still worked a charm. So that's one thing I learned. All I had to do was try out 1 tile, and then I would have known. Okay, live and learn, as I always say. But the very first thing I do, and you have to do this, whether you're tiling the floor or a wall or both, is to draw 2 lines. For a floor, they just have to be exactly 90 degrees to one another. They can't be out a degree or 2. They must be exact. For your walls, your horizontal line must be perfectly level, and your vertical line should be perfectly plumb. That is 90 degrees to your horizontal line. Can you see that board down here underneath the tiles? That's where I started the tiles. This is of utmost importance. That has to be absolutely perfectly spot on level. Once it's level, you can figure out how you want your tiles adjusted along the wall. But that is so important. It'll keep your tiles nice and straight. Getting this right will prevent some serious issues further down the track and make your entire tiling project go like clockwork. Seriously, that's that important. Now, the way I went about the tiling, I laid the floor tiles first. But before I did anything or mixed up any glue, as I cut and dry fitted each tile, I made a map of where each tile went. I literally cut every single tile for the floor and put them into place, making sure that they fit before actually placing them down with glue. I numbered the tiles on the back to the corresponding number on my map. So I figure out in what preference I want to lay them, shown here in alphabet. I then picked them all up, then mixed up the glue and placed them in sequence to the alphabet on my map. Now this went fairly quickly and without any issues because of what I just told you. Finding the curve where the tiles meet the shower edge, I simply held a piece of cardboard in place and pressed firmly along that curved edge, really hard. This gave me a template to cut along. Now again, I've never done this before and learned yet another neat little trick. The shower tiles were a bit more difficult. Basically, rocks glued to a matting material to hold them together as a full tile. But being wobbly just made them harder to cut and to handle. Now I'm sorry, I apologize, I didn't film this, but I gotta say though, they look pretty damn good. Now for drainage, I simply used glue around the outside shower edges from roughly say 5 millimeters deep to nothing down to where the drain is. This eliminated the need for a sand and cement bed. Something larger, I would have used a sand and cement bed. I didn't want it too high as I went without the hob and simply created a lower level in the shower floor to stop the water. Now again, this was an experiment and thankfully it worked a real treat. Now, can you imagine what I would have to do if this didn't work? Now, grouting is probably the easiest and exciting part of the whole tiling process. This brings it all together. But I'll tell you, there is a bit of grunt work involved. But after wiping the excess off and waiting till the next day to wipe or polish the dry residual grout from the tiles, it's all but done. Now, I somehow forgot to film applying the silicone to all the corners, but that's what really finishes it all off. So let's just stop here for a moment because that makes for a really good tip. Don't fill up your corners with grout. You need to allow for movement. So silicone comes in real handy for just that. It's soft when it dries. It has some give and you can get the color of the same as your grout. Otherwise, you'll get some, if you do get movement, having grout in your corners could crack some tiles. Now with the tiles finished, I installed the cabinet, the light, shower screen, and the homemade shower screen rod for the curtain. I used a curtain rod as it seemed a tad more conducive because of space restrictions. Now, I then installed the tapware, spouts, and voila. So that's the bathroom, but with a few little things that I still have to finish off. Now, I was trying my darnest to get the whole tiny completed before our family visited for Christmas, but it wasn't to be. Now, anyhow, we got most of the place finished, except for the kitchen, the stairs, I think the handrail. Still, it came in extremely useful with an extra 11 family members visiting us over the Christmas holidays. So look, stay tuned, join us on our tiny build journey. We are almost there. So consider subscribing, there's more to come. I'm Rick Michelle, this is Tiny House Big Dreams, and after watching this video, I hope some inspiration has crept into your soul to build your own tiny. I usually finish off with, have a fantastic day. But this time, considering that so many are going through with all the fires in the country, just stay safe, everyone. Bye for now, and thank you for watching.